afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. My second August edition. I did my first one in Wareham last night. Kind of a rainy day out there, but we guess we need the rain. And here we have an awesome show, another beautiful, wonderful guest, and I'm going to be interviewing in in about a minute, but I have to read these great underwriters first, and then we will proceed per usual. So we got Auto Country, king of the used car in Abington, number one in the dealer raters for 2021 out of 4,500. We got Carver Jewelers, 96 North Main Street, right here in the building with Ronald R. and Lyle Agent Delano Goldsmiths here in Carver. We got Auto Town Auto Glass installed in Abington. We got Vape Solutions in East Bridgewater. We got Middleborough Barbering Company in Middleborough. We got Britain Tire Service in Brockton. We got Pembroke Radiator in Pembroke. We got Genuine's Inspection in Middleborough. We got the Granite Guys in Halifax. We got Comfort Upholstery in East Bridgewater. We got Barnacote Monuments in Middleborough. We got Manny's Auto Repair in Taunton. We got Vital Auto Repair in Whitman. They're a new one. We got Main Ingredient, Just Good Food in Middleborough. We got P&L Paintball in Bridgewater. We got good old Dave's Automotive in Hanson right here on Route 58. We got Salon Giovanni in Marshfield. We got Sweezy Fence Erectors in Whitman. We got Pal's Driving School in Middleborough, reaching out to people all over the Middleborough area and vicinity. We got Smoke and Ashes Tobacco Stores in Whitman, South Weymouth, Hanson, Abington, Pembroke. We got the Abington Whitman News Corporate Office. There's the number. We got the Gunrunner LLC in Middleborough, dedicated to your Second Amendment rights. We got DNS Auto Works in Abington. We got Joe's Diner in Taunton. I want to thank you all very much. And now on that note, I will give a wonderful introduction to this lovely lady, Manjari Koldul, right?
Colgood.
Colgood, yes. Okay. All right, okay. You're actually the second Indian guest in a row I've had here. In the last one I had on, you maybe know Ekta Jain. She's a dancer.
Oh, nice.
And you look like you could be too, but that's not your deal, but that's okay. Well, but what I do with every guest is we thoroughly profile them, and we're going to find out all about you as well. In addition to what you're doing, currently, but we're going to find out what you were like as a child and what life was like growing up in India, where I assume that's where you grew up.
Yes.
You seem like a very happy and fun-loving person, and you have a 6-year-old son you brought who wants to meet me, but he's sleeping in the car with your friends, so we're gonna have to wait till we're done. But so first of all, now I want to thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me here.
Okay, so you work with nonprofits for aiding people in needy situations all over, not just in India, but in all the countries, many countries, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that. Tell me, brief me up a little bit on that. How does that work?
So I volunteer for 2 organizations here in Boston.
Okay.
One is in Holbrook, Shri Radha Bhakti. That's the name of the organization.
Yeah, okay.
And the other one is Seva International. So let me start with Seva International. They have presence in 43 states in the United States.
Okay.
And about 20 around the world.
Okay.
And, because of COVID, this organization has raised like $33 million to help India alone.
Okay.
And with now, they're
I know
trying...
India was pretty hard hit, obviously, we know.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been bad.
Right.
But this organization has really helped out countries like Bangladesh,
Yep.
South Africa, Nepal, Pakistan, not to mention,
Right.
and many other countries.
Okay.
So what I do for them is help them with their fundraisers.
Okay.
I manage their Feeding the Hungry program, which is basically providing meals here, writing blogs for them,
Yep.
managing other, like for COVID, we had something called Helpline set up where, people are stressed.
Yep.
They want an oxygen cylinder right at that moment.
Right.
But they don't have the time to look up somewhere. So
Okay.
we had a help desk in US which was looking at, okay, where are these oxygen cylinders available? So I was helping with that, looking up at databases real quick, telling people, go here, this is where the hospital bed is available. Go here, this is where the cylinders are available.
Okay, see, I mean, that's going to be pretty stressful for everybody.
It was.
Obviously, especially with the way the pandemic was last year.
Yeah.
So many hospitals overrun with patients
It was.
struggling to breathe. That must have been, and now, do you do anything? Do you help people like directly? Do you have any medical experience at all?
I don't.
Okay, that's fine.
This was a team of people.
Right.
I'm not the only one. There's a
Right.
bunch of
Well,
volunteers,
okay.
everybody together.
Right, I understand. Right, so you basically you help like authorize people that are in need, and you say, okay, so and so needs this and
Yes,
here and that.
yes. So we have a team of doctors in United States
Yeah.
that were providing consult to these patients back in India and
Okay.
other countries, So that helped.
Sounds like Doctors Without Borders, sort of.
What's that?
Like Doctors Without Borders?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So if, like, say, for example, I had people send me their CT scans
Okay.
on WhatsApp. And we used to forward it to these doctors, make sure anybody can review it, provide any kind of feedback, what can be done or cannot be done.
Okay.
it was stressful, but any help at that moment was good, right?
Well, obviously you've done. I mean, I'm sure you've helped a lot of people, and you've got to
I
feel good about
did,
that.
but it
and I'm sure
wasn't
they
me
don't.
alone, as I said.
Oh,
It
I know
was
it's
a
not you
group of
alone. I
people.
mean, it's something like this. This is a worldwide, undertaking. Obviously, you
Yes.
can't do it by yourself.
Yes.
Well, okay, so how is the? I assume that it's really somewhat improved since last year, correct?
It has.
Because
It
of
has,
your,
thankfully, yes.
right? Okay, so it's easier now than it was a year ago.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. I mean, we don't have the helpline anymore.
Okay.
We do have, but
But it's not
yeah,
nearly
it's
as
not
busy as it was last
exactly.
year. Okay.
Exactly. Like last year, it was like for a couple of months, it
Ringing
was
off
like
the hook all the
every
time, yeah,
minute
right.
there was like messages coming from India. I need help. Somebody help me.
Yeah.
So we used to create these message groups real quick with doctors, somebody who can help back in India too, and connect patients to doctors, to hospitals. It was
Okay.
just a lot.
All right. Well, tell me about the other organization you mentioned too.
So Sri Radha Bhakti, it is a Hindu-based organization in
Okay.
Holbrook.
Yes,
Not too
in
far
Holbrook.
from here.
I know what Holbrook is. I
Okay,
live
yeah.
in Brockton. I'm right next door.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah, so it's like on Route 37,
Yes,
Franklin Street.
yes.
See, I know the area.
Oh, wow.
I used to
It is in Franklin
Many
Street,
years
yeah.
ago, I used to deliver the paper to Holbrook in the wee hours of the morning. 43 years ago, in 1978. I doubt you were even born yet.
Oh, wow.
But
I'm
so
not saying
I know
that.
Holbrook. Believe me, I know the town pretty good.
Okay.
But
yeah.
I don't. Even, but I've probably seen that building too. I don't know if it was. How long? Well, speaking of that, how long have they been around? The one in Holbrook.
They've been there for, I think, 10 years.
10 years, okay.
Definitely. In fact, recently they acquired a land for 7 acres, and now they're going to be huge out there. The
Cool.
construction is on. Probably next year they'll have a bigger building there.
Well, tell me more. Well, tell me what they do then.
So it's a Hindu-based organization. Again, there is spiritual activities happening. They're big time into community service.
Okay.
Again, helping people with meals. They prepare meals there, serve it out. They have spiritual discourse for people who want to come.
Or
You know,
just to
there's-
meditate.
Meditate.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
they have yoga programs there.
So it's not just for medical. It's just all around.
It's all around, yes.
Well-being and
Yes,
whatnot. That's
it
great.
is. It's also there is a portion of it which is also a temple.
Okay.
So it's
A temple. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
A temple. Like
Yeah, like
Hindu-
a Buddhist temple.
Correct.
But it's a Hindu
But this
temple.
is a Hindu temple.
Yep,
Yes.
okay.
So people go there to pray as well. I
Yep.
go there every Tuesday.
Okay.
And what I could be doing there is anything. I believe in. I would just go there and help them clean the dishes.
Okay.
Like I was there last night helping them with the dishes.
That's right. It was Tuesday.
Or I could do anything like writing blogs for them. We could also be in if there's making food, preparing food that has to go out to hospitals
Okay.
or to the neighboring areas where they need meals.
So
to our
basically, they help
community
people
centers.
in the local area too,
Yeah.
not just not just around. I mean, so the other organization is
Is
around
more local.
It's more local, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's more centrified.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now by trade, you're a bank teller. You said, right? Or-
I'm a banker, so I
You're a
work
banker.
at I
Okay.
work with Santander Bank.
Okay.
And I'm in the regulatory program.
I got to
office.
ask you something. Now, look, I interview a lot of women that are men too, that are into acting, modeling, and music. You're very attractive. You never did modeling or anything in your life? I'm just curious. Or did
Oh
you?
my God! So okay, let me tell you. So I MC. So for both these organizations, I've MC'd several events.
Okay.
For them, virtual events, their fundraising events or anything. One of my aspirations, I was hoping, Harrison, do you think I can be at a show and do you think I can get some modeling assignments? Or
I don't see why not.
no, it's more like I have done it in India.
You have,
but it was
okay.
only for fun.
Well, of
It
course,
was-
it's always for fun.
Yeah, it's always for fun.
Yeah.
It's never been for money or anything.
Right, you have your regular life, but it's nice to be able to show off too. and ham it up.
Exactly.
No, and
So-
I had a couple of years ago. I interviewed a woman who was Mrs. India, Rhode Island.
Wow.
Meta Rastogi. I don't know if you know. She won a pageant in Foxborough, I believe, and I was at it. I didn't even know that. She had won it that year. She didn't even expect to, and she was, and she had 2 or 3 kids, and her husband was there that
Wow.
day. Yeah, and she did very well. All right. Well, I don't want to get too far off the track, but I'm just wondering a little bit more. I want to find out a little bit more about you. Are you musical at all? Have you ever done acting? Have you ever done writing?
I haven't done any acting
Okay.
or writing. Yes,
None of that.
but again, as I said, I do hope that after this event, I get something.
But after the show, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Come
We'll get you.
on, We're looking for people.
We'll get plenty
to
of
say-
people who want to have you for something to do something. But you never played music. You never sang or danced as a kid. In India, even.
No.
Really?
Well, I've
Such
been
a
in a
festive
very
country. It's hard to
cocoon.
believe.
I've been in a very cocooned family, like my
Okay.
life has been really cocooned. My father, till I was 18 years old, I was not allowed to even go alone to school. There would be, I
Now,
was
was this
kind
when you
of
were still living in
spoiled.
India or when you were here?
This is in India.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So how
So-
many years? All right. Let's talk about your migration to the United States. What was the reason for that?
To study.
Oh,
So I
okay.
came here for my master's.
And where did you get it? What school?
UMass Boston.
Good for you. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
I did my master's MBA from there.
Okay. And were you? Did you have a family when you came over here, or did you?
Yes.
Okay.
So my sister is in Boston.
Yep.
So I was living with her, and she was in Boston College herself, doing her master's there.
Cool.
So it was good. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
fun. I wasn't alone. I won't say. My brother's also in U.S. So of course, I have a family here.
Right,
And
right.
it was much easier for me then.
Right.
because of
Okay. Now,
that.
do you travel back and forth to India as time? Plus, with the pandemic, it's not as easy. But I
Yeah.
assume
So I haven't been to India last year.
you did right. Obviously.
I had a plan this year, but I don't know with this new
You have to
variant.
be right. You have to be careful. Obviously. You gotta
Exactly.
be, okay.
But prior to that, yes, I've been to India every year since I've been here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, so what do you? So how many days a week you work at the bank? 5 days a week? Is that
Mm-hmm.
it? Okay. So when do you do the nonprofit stuff?
Every day.
Well, you do it. Well, how do you?
I was there at Shri Radha Bhakti last night.
Right.
So
So
helping
you do that
them.
at night more than okay. So
Yeah.
during the day you work at the bank and
Exactly.
and when you're done with the bank.
At nights, if I have to write a blog, I would do it at night.
Okay.
There are programs for Seva that we do over the weekends mostly.
Yeah.
So if like there's a Feeding the Hungry program, I'm the coordinator for them. So if I have to organize a food drive for them,
Yeah.
we plan it with
Okay.
the team members, the other volunteers throughout the week, and then it'll go probably live on a Saturday. We go to food shelter in Lawrence called Coronam.
Okay.
Every third Saturday of the month, volunteers would go there and prepare food for
Do you
everyone.
ever do any work in Brockton? We have, Brockton has some needy people too, where I live.
Well, you know what? There is a church in Brockton.
Yep.
The Church of Missionary. I'm sorry, I may be missing up their name.
Well, that's okay.
But that church is something. Not last year, in February, we had a huge food drive where we collected
Okay.
11,000 plus pound of food. And one of the places that we donated that food collection was in the Brockton church.
Okay, cool. 'Cause
Yeah.
well, Brockton has Mainspring House for the homeless people.
Okay.
Yeah, and my guess is that it was probably the people you were helping were
Yes,
were
I
living
mean
there.
that place, that mission, that church has. They get about 100 homeless people. They feed on a regular basis.
Right.
So I mean, they were in dire need,
Oh, I know.
and once they approached us, we did include them in the list of shelters that we are going to support, and that's where all the collection that came from the food drive went there.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, do you travel? Now aside from those two places where you do your work, you work for the the nonprofits. Do you travel a lot do you meet people like on the road? Do you go to different cities and towns like you just said? Did you go to Brockton for that event or did you just?
Yes,
do it-
so
oh, you
I did go to Brockton.
Oh, you
yeah,
did? Okay.
yeah. So as I said, this was more to deliver whatever
right. So
we
you're on the road
collected.
delivering
Yes.
food and helping. So you
Yeah,
get
so
first
just
hand help
help-
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I really like to do all this
Oh, yeah,
because
no,
that's
it's
what
great.
I've grown up doing. Like I've seen my
You're-
parents.
You're an angel on earth. Is what you are.
No, I wish. Honestly, I really was I'll be very honest here. The reason I came here, Harrison,
Yeah.
I wanted this interview. Like this was like a checkbox. Can I do it? I'm nervous. I'm
What, a
really
TV
nervous.
interview and you picked me. That's wonderful. Well, I picked you too. But I always say everything happens for a reason, and it just worked out like
Yeah,
that.
it
so,
did.
Absolutely.
And then I was thinking, hey, if I get some assignments, if there's something that goes beyond that, maybe I'll be able to earn, and then I can donate more to these places.
Well,
I
that's great.
really want to help them. Things have been, I don't know, I've been too affected by the way things have been last year. So.
Right. Okay. Now, do you speak more than how many languages do you speak?
3.
3. Okay. They're all two. So what are they? Just 2 Indian dialects?
Hindi,
Yep.
Bengali, and English.
No, Bengali is part of India, right?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Well, I'm from Bengal.
Yeah. You what? So does that make you Bengalese?
I'm not Bengali, yes, but I'm from Bengal.
Oh, I see. Because I actually was in a music video last week with a young woman who said she was Bengalese, and
Oh, nice.
yeah, her name is Helen Raman, and she said she was actually Miss Massachusetts, not Mrs. She's only 21.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, I listen. I love that.
I
mean,
wish you would have told me. I would have come to meet
you would have been in the video. I didn't know if it was. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I figured but you have to make sure you get time for the other stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I take it your family life must be pretty good at home. You got a son and you take care of him every day. And
Yeah, so I've got my husband is really good. Like
What-
he's
okay.
quite patient, I must say. When I'm doing all this stuff,
does he do?
helps. He is in technology. He works
Okay.
for an investment company, and he's in technology.
did you marry him in India and come over together?
No, guess what? I met him at the bank where I work,
Okay.
and he was a project manager there, and I was
Oh,
an
you worked there
intern
too?
there.
Okay. Great.
And it happened that I was helping his boss when I was doing my internship.
Yeah.
And that's where we just fell in love and we decided, okay,
That's swell. So when you went to you did an internship at the bank.
yes.
So how does that work? I never heard of that. Like from school, from UMass
Yeah,
Boston?
from UMass. So as a part of our MBA, we have to do internships.
Okay.
So I got the internship at the bank.
Oh, cool. That's
Yeah.
interesting. I never
So
heard
I
of that.
started there as an intern, and hey, I'm there for 12 years now.
Yeah, right. So you majored in political science at UMass?
No, in master's in finance.
Finance.
MBA in finance, yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you could be a CPA. Yeah. Now, do you have any goals and aspirations for I mean, I know you said you might want to do modeling. Have you ever written anything? Have you ever written memoirs about life growing up and the people that you've met and the people that you helped? I mean, I know you like to write
no.
blogs. I'm just wondering if you just like to write in general, because
No, I haven't written. The only things that I've written are those blogs.
Right, okay.
That also for these nonprofit organizations. Like if there is a program that Seva International has where they teach young children.
Okay.
Like kids that are less than, I would say, below 11 years old.
Yeah.
They teach them verses from our epics, Hindu epics. So we teach them that every Saturday, Friday and Saturdays. So I write more about how they are doing, what is it that they learn.
Okay. You teach children at this charity, is that
I
it?
help them.
You
yes.
help them.
Yes.
Okay. So what do the blogs look like? Are they like you just talk about who needs what, or you describe?
This is more about what the children did.
Oh, okay.
So all the participants that are there, what did they do? So I would have a blog. Like I had, this is on their website itself, Seva's website. So we had
Yeah, I looked at
kids.
the website and it looked great, but I want you to tell me because hearing it from you makes it more clear. You know what I mean? So
I mean, they did. We make them do drawings. We tell them to say stories. So I would write all about it, like how did they do it? What I would publish their materials.
Okay.
Introduce them, encourage them to do more. Interview their parents.
Okay,
Right.
yeah.
What do their parents feel? Like, do they see any changes in the kids? Are the kids excited about it? Do they see any kind of are they more confident now?
Okay.
Stuff like that. So have an interview sessions with their parents. What is it that they feel? And then I would write the blogs on that.
Wow. Okay. I was wondering, would you ever consider writing children's books? You seem to like children.
I love them. I think, well, that's a good idea, Harrison?
I always try to give advice to my guests that would help them out.
How?
You'd probably write excellent stuff.
I could
Do
probably.
you tell bedtime stories to your son?
Yes.
Well, do you make them up, or do you? I mean, see, here's what I'm thinking.
I have. So.
I mean, I know India has a rich history of great
Yes,
literature, and
yes.
and I get a feeling that if you're more creative than you realize, and you just need to, and you're doing great. What you're doing is awesome, but I think you would amaze yourself if you gave it a shot and tried to sit down and try penning some fiction, making up some something that would inspire a kid to think that it's pretty cool. And,
You
enjoy
never know.
himself,
If
or
I
herself.
ever do write, I'll address my first book to you.
Well, I appreciate
Thanks
that.
to Harrison.
Well, I've written a couple of books too.
You have?
Self-published, but yeah, I mean, when I was 19, we're talking like 40. In 1978, I did my first book of poems. When I was
Wow.
Yeah, it was just all it was a like 10-page pamphlet. I had it printed at Sir Speedy, and I sell it for like $0.25 a pop. And I went to a party on the Cape a couple of weeks ago, and the guy that I'm friends with on the Cape. At that time, I was working with him when we were delivering the paper to Holbrook, and he says, I still got my copy. So
Wow.
I have the picture of myself, 18 years old with a full beard on the back of the cover that I had made in one of those photo booths at the department store. And then in the 90s, in the final decade of the century, I wrote and I didn't know, this is the thing I've always wanted to do. My parents have a big library in the house. I've always liked reading, but I always thought to myself, boy, would I love to be able to write a book, especially short stories, because you can read them in one sitting. Well, In the early 90s, I began compiling a book of, a cluster of stories, and then by the late 90s, I had 50,000 words.
Wow.
So by 1990, so I started it in like 1991, and by 1997, I was banging on one story a day for like 4 months at a time, and then I realized I got enough stuff to make a book out of it. So then what I did was I gave the material, I gave the manuscript to this professor at Bridgewater State, which isn't too far from here. You probably know where it is.
Yeah.
And because in 1989 in that spring, I had taken his summer school course. I wasn't an enrolled student, but I wanted to find out how to get published. In 1999, it turns out he had his own printing press at the school, and he was publishing his own stuff. So when I brought my manuscript to him after having it rejected by umpteen publishers, he put it into a book, and he did it for me. And then he realized he could not only, if he could do it for someone else besides himself, like me, he could do it for other people too. So he put a memo on his bulletin board saying, anybody that has a book they want published, come see Mike Hurley in Tillinghast 331. So I'm telling you this because it sounds to me like you might have the ability based on your history and your I assume you
I
have.
should consider.
Yeah.
Yes, I love children. I mean, if you
You're
leave me with kids, I can just.
Yeah, I'm sure you're a great mother, and I'm sure
I have fun with them.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I mean, that's awesome. So you might want. So the idea, what I'm thinking is, think of something. Make up a story in your mind. Write it down. If you have any, you must have. We all have umpteen ideas all the time going at once. You write something down on a piece of paper, a few ideas, and then then try to make it a narrative, and you read it to your son, and he'll probably love it. And then if he does, you can share it with other people too. But that's something that's up to you to. If you can
I
make
must
it up
consider. Yes,
Okay.
totally. That's a great idea.
Well,
yeah.
thank you. So like I said, well, guess what? We're down to the final 5 minutes.
Woo!
I know we made it go
Come
by.
on, that was fast.
Well, yeah, but we covered a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah, we did.
We did. So like I
I'm
told you.
glad.
Okay. So like I told you at the beginning, what I want you to do is to look at the red light in the camera and give shouts out to people that are going to see the show. We're going to see probably tons of people in India are going to see it, but not only that, I mean people here too, and it's going to be pretty cool. So just condense your shouts out, and then we'll wrap the show up the way we started it with my music.
Okay. Hey everyone, here I am. Yes, I know. I'm finally here. So for everyone, thank you so much. Thank you so much for supporting me and being patient. Don't expect here that I'm talking something big with flowery words. I'm just here and I'm nervous, and you know that. But I just want to thank you all for just being here listening to me. So thank you. And if you really want to have another fun chat, please get in touch with Harrison. This was such a great experience. I'm so thankful to you for this.
Well, you know what? Not only is that very sweet of you, but it was something I was going to ask you before we wrap the show up. I was going to say to you, if you had a good time with me,
Of course I did.
then have as many people as you want. Get in touch with me. I get a lot of guests now for the word of mouth.
Yeah, so I was telling Chris, this is my first time I'm here.
On TV.
I was nervous, yes, although I'm an MC, but I don't know why I was like little nervous.
Well, 'cause you've never
what
done
kind
this
of questions
before.
are you going to ask me? I'm not prepared. Oh my God, should I get something to read? And then I was like right here, and 30 minutes just passed by. So I just can't thank you enough.
We nailed it. All right.
I know, this was a fun chat.
Of course, thank you, and you were fun too. Just before we wrap it up, is there anything on the horizon that you have in the in the near future that you just want to cover real quick?
I just want to say something like I read last night, and this is for everybody, because I so much believe in giving. If you ever give anything to the world, that thing will always find anything good, I would say. If you ever give anything good to the world, that thing will find a way to come back to you in a good way. So do believe in giving. Do give to people. Do give to the society you are in.
That was beautiful. Karma can be the bad B word, but it can be the good. It can be the
Karma.
BI word or
It
the
is-
beautiful word.
Karma is
depending
what
on,
they
I guess,
say. Yes.
how you go about giving and taking. And
Yes.
sounds to me like you got it down.
Once you give something, you'll get it back.
Yeah. Well,
And it is always good.
That is so cool, and so accurately stated. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Thank you.
And I guess and you are my inspiration.
No, I'm so happy to be here. And I'm so thankful to you, Harrison, for having me here today. I was really nervous, but
Well,
I'm having so much fun that I wish I would have started the interview now.
Well, that's okay. Well, we're gonna wrap it up, and we're gonna like dwell on what a great time we had forever.
Sure.
Because once the show is up, we're gonna share it with the world. All
Thank
right. So
you.
you ready to wrap the show up the way we began it?
Yes.
Okay, folks. Thanks for watching Topic Time. More great episodes to follow. See you next time. Have a good week. Take care.
You.